Hey guys, my name is JessiMew, and welcome back to the Hard Mode Challenge. In the last episode, our tribe began preparing for what might just be our final battle with the killer bear hyenas. Now that we can take down a killer bear hyena in literally one day, I don't think there's very much standing in our way anymore. And Hero, along with Lanter and Dandelion, have realized that for themselves. So they're heading into one of the last remaining patches of tall grass that we have. And once we explore this, once we clear it all out of darkness, along with a few other straggling patches too, I do feel like we will have successfully conquered this island. So we might be on our last legs, but there are still some little babies that I'm hoping to see. Tabby is going to be starting a family with a brand new bear hyena love. So on the next turn when she has some more energy, we'll bring her over to that nest. It does look like poor little Benedict is about to catch the attention of one of the leeches, but thankfully he has some new creatures who will be joining him on this island soon. Willow wanted to see more of the world before she was expected to stay behind with her brother and guard all of these healing fruits. Maybe she's also hoping that she can find some more to tell him about if she explores those distant corners. She's not all alone though. He has the support of Nutmeg with him right now, so we can have her help out by clearing some of that extra grass as he tries to find the pesky bunnies who might just be stealing their berries. Unfortunately, that does seem to be the running theme of this island. Our collectors are never safe from the wrath of the bunnies. But with the birth of some new hunters soon, we should be seeing a sharp decrease in the bunny population before long. Now Cupcake is on her very last day, but she has requested that her son Chai tries to find his older brother. And while they don't know each other, they look so similar that the moment he stumbles into Pebbleheart, he is going to know exactly who he is. So I'm looking forward for them to reunite as well. And I'm also looking forward to seeing if we might be able to breed that special platypus beak into this family during this episode. This is actually Roku's very last chance to pass his water body onto one of his babies. It's been a little bit trickier to pass than we would have liked, but even if it does disappear with him, the platypus beak will live on. Now I suppose Comet could actually gather the troops on this side of the island, since we do have quite a few creatures who would make decent warriors. Maybe not quite as strong as our soldiers up in the northern portions of the island, but Baron could still pack a punch if something dangerous did come stumbling in their direction. So we'll bring Baron up here to clear out the grass around the nests, and then I suppose creatures like Wesley with his claw, or maybe even Rihanna too, after she has her next baby, might be willing to help Comet out on his mission. Oh no! And now you find a little bunny? Oh, neither of you have the energy to actually scoop it up? That is very, very upsetting. And unfortunately, Ember is just not strong enough to hunt those bunnies down. In fact, he's feeling a little bit lost at the moment. He's getting very close to the end of his lifespan. But there is a creature high atop the hill that even Ember with his poor eyesight would be sure to see. So let's bring him through the water once more to hopefully meet little Lucy on the next turn. And maybe if they get along well, they could even use some of these nests, so Ember will be able to have a little family before he passes away. But I think we might be just about out of turns now. We just have Hero way off in the grass, and with the very last of his turns, he can connect all of these pathways, so our creatures can move around a little bit more easily. We'll go ahead and zoom out and skip the day, just to see if any other hyenas are going to spawn. Oh my goodness, look at how many creatures passed away. So many of them have passed due to old age. But I did hear somebody get hurt, so I just want to make sure those hyenas are all friendly. And now let's try to figure out exactly where the bleeding is coming from. Oh, it's you with the leech. So maybe we could bring Assis over here to pick that off of you and lick your wounds. That way you won't have to worry about taking any extra damage. Thankfully, the bleeding doesn't seem to be a problem unless you leave it on for even longer. Now, I do believe Willow should be able to make her way down the shore to finally meet up with all these creatures, as Kiba gathers up some of the shells on the beach and gets to know some of his more distant tribe mates. I'm sure he would be quite impressed with the way that Assis was so willing to jump to Benedict's aid, and he's taken on so many mates in the past, thanks to his gorgeous mask, of course. But I wouldn't be surprised if he was hoping to have another baby before he passes. Now we'll scoot Tabby into her previous nest, now that we don't have any Dodamingos to worry about, of course. And Reese has managed to take down at least one of those pesky bunnies, though I think it did steal all of your delicious berries in the process. We'll sit him down by the stream, since he should be able to do a little bit of fishing if any of them do come up the waterfall. And it seems like more of a relaxing pastime for somebody his age. He is definitely getting up there. Now Chai, poor little Chai, is going to have to stumble his way all alone through all of this darkness. Though he does have one creature watching over him, Danger on his very last day, as he picks up those last poison berries, can jump high atop the stump, so he can at least light up a little bit of extra space for Chai. I guess he would be acting as kind of like a beacon for him, a little lighthouse if you will, guiding him down this lonely pathway, so he can eventually stumble straight into his brother. Oh no, but you guys have so many bunnies over here. Wait a second, we definitely need to pick up these sweeter berries before the bunnies get to them first. Then we can work on moving creatures like Raveneye into her nest and have Pebbleheart pick up all of the roots around her. Sandwich must be very, very excited. He's about to have his very first baby. Though I'm pretty sure I did see a thief stealing the berries over here. So you better chase that guy away too. Oh my gosh, we just have too many bunnies to keep track of. That's why we need more hunters though. So let's go ahead and start our family between Hunter and Luna next, because I'm sure they would have some very capable babies. The ram horns will add an extra punch if we can mutate that into their line. And then the big nose on Hunter might help ensure that their babies will be able to sniff a little bit better into that tall grass. I guess that's really what caught Hunter's attention, because Luna is so good at tracking down the bunnies. He doesn't have to scramble around to try to find them before they skitter back off into the grass. Now let's see if our little water babies had any more luck before we try to bring Ember over to Lucy. Oh, look at that! She does have the water body in her inactive traits. And interestingly enough, she doesn't have the platypus beak. And then over here, her half-sister has neither of those genetics. The one different thing about her, though, is that she actually has the velvet paw. So despite the fact that she won't really be able to give us the water babies that we're looking for, she will be able to sneak around. So maybe she would be another good creature to send off with Comet. She might not be strong, but she can do some recon work maybe. Sneak around, sniff around for those pesky Berginas, and let us know what she discovers. The next names on my list are Babbitt, and for her half-sister, Ray. So welcome to the tribe, you two, and I'm sure you're both going to have plenty of fun over by the ocean. So now that their mate has passed, and now that they have so many babies over here who would be willing to pick up the berries, pick up the acorns as well, they're all very, very capable. I think Rihanna and Otter are going to try to do the tribe some good by heading off into the tall grass too. Otter, in fact, should be able to set herself up right on top of the stump, which will free up Comet to do some more of the dirty work, especially if they unearth the Bergina's next lair. We need somebody with those powerful Bergina claws to take care of the dangers for them. And Comet is one of the few who still bears those genetics. Which is kind of ironic because this is actually where our first Bergina family was supposed to be. But now instead we're hoping for platypus beaks and water bodies. At least Ember has the chance to experience love before he ends up passing away. We'll go ahead and try to fix his eyesight situation, so his babies might be born with something better than what he has right now. And then I suppose we could always try to put the Bergina snout in there too. I mean, it's not very likely that it would happen, but we might as well give it a shot. So we'll have him breed with her, so she can hopefully still plop down a nest on this turn. And that way he'll get the chance to meet his first and only baby right before he passes away. Now we should just have our brave explorers left, who are still trying their best to carve out their pathways. Zaid has no interest in those pesky little bunnies. He wants to find something bigger, something a little bit more dangerous to take down and bring back to his family. It looks like Nutmeg and Sage are still doing a pretty good job keeping this area under control. So far, the only dangers they have to worry about are the Dodemingos stealing their nests. We'll bring Nutmeg closer to Sage because she doesn't want him to get too lonely. He's used to having a big family around him all the time after all, but hopefully it won't be too much longer before his family is ready to return. Now Orion, I think it's just down to you. You don't really have anybody to pick leeches off of, so I suppose you can spend your very final day knocking down more acorns, trying desperately to crack open those shells. He's certainly had a very eventful life, and I feel like he completed his mission. He's one of the few who can say that he helped to take down a killer Bergina after all. Oh my goodness, and once again, so many notifications. I'm not used to having tribes that are this big, but brand new life in the nest is always something to celebrate. Unfortunately, this little baby does not have the Bergina snout that we were looking for, but he does have all of those genetics hidden away, and even the fishing tail too. That is definitely something worth noting. It's very fitting too, since he was born right by the sea. So the next name on my list is Pepper. Welcome to the tribe, little one. And I suppose you're going to be our fisher of the tribe if all goes well. Something tells me he will enjoy trying to scout out little fish swarms as he's looking for the shells to collect. And in fact, we could even bring his mother down here to crack open his very first one, because I'm sure he would enjoy to play around with it while he's still in the nest. But I think this might be... Yep, that is definitely not one of our friendly Berginas. I didn't think they could make it all the way up behind our troops quite that quickly. So I guess, Sade, you have actually found exactly what you were looking for. You might even be able to take down this Bergina all by yourself. A nice big pile of Bergina meat is much, much better than just those measly little morsels that you can find with the bunnies. So I guess you were right to bide your time. And the Berginas are still looking to Reese for guidance as he hunts the last few bunnies over by this burrow. Oh my goodness, we have a ton of them over here. You're going to have to call somebody up there to maybe pick up the meat, because unfortunately this is his very last day, which means all of this is his last contribution to the tribe. Part of me feels like he's probably happy to get out of the action, though he was our little getaway driver for many battles with the Berginas. He seems to be more the peaceful sort to me. He would love nothing more than to just curl up by the stream in the bright sunshine and catch fish all day. But now as we pick up some of the very last of the acorns over on this island, perhaps Benedict and Willow could exchange stories about all of their adventures. Since they are both such adventurous souls, I'm sure they would have quite a bit to talk about. Maybe Willow would even tell Benedict about that strange bluebird that they once saw roaming over this island. Maybe they could investigate this together, see if there's any healing fruits out there, or some resources that they could use to their advantage. So while Kiba potentially considers starting a new family with Isis, we'll have Willow and Benedict make their way back to the mainland to start a brand new journey together. And just in time too, because it looks like you guys might have one of those pesky leeches eyeing you up. So if we are to start a family between these two, we'll want to make sure that Isis has something in her mutation menu that can stop that blindness gene from spreading, along with something to hopefully counteract the no-paw that she came into our tribe with. If he breeds with her, then she should be able to still settle down in that nest. Oh, that pesky fertility trait. Thankfully that one worked, so they will be able to have at least one baby together. And now let's see if any of our toxic-bodied babies had more luck. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like it. These two both only have the toxic body and their inactive traits. But we can still keep trying. Surely Sandwich and Vulpix will soon have some members of their family who can help them out with this endless job. I do like how these two look so similar though, especially considering how close both of their mothers were. So I have a feeling these two cousins are going to be very, very close as well. More like sisters than cousins, with the claws and the running legs required to finally hunt down all of those bunnies. The next name on my list is Marshy. So welcome to the tribe, little one. Carrying on the legacy of Izmi, it seems. So you must have a pretty big destiny ahead of you. And your cousin we will name Rosie. And as soon as you two start to grow, we'll have you carve out our final paths. Chai is getting so close now that if only Pebbleheart would follow his nose towards some more of those roots, then I bet they would be able to see each other very soon. We might as well have Luna teach her daughter how to do a little bit of scouting too, since she will be very, very suited to the task with that big nose of hers as well. I suppose Hunter should probably make his way to his mate's side, although we did have a permanent nest that we could use instead. Didn't actually know that that was waiting for us there. We'll have to try to keep that in mind for the future. Oh, look at this! It's almost as if Ember has been reborn. Better than ever, with perfect eyesight, a big nose, and the big ears too. Oh, she looks so much like her father. The green eyes that he had. I think the same color of fur as well. We couldn't have asked for a more perfect baby from him. The next name on my list is Dreamer, which seems like a wonderfully fitting way to end Ember's story, and to open up a brand new one too. I'm sure Lucy is going to teach you very, very well. Now, I wonder if Wesley might want to spend a little bit of time with Babbitt, maybe lure her closer toward the grasslands, so she might be able to help them sneak around. Ray, on the other hand, will stay right here, with her little frog toes and her nimble fingers too. I think she's probably more suited to collecting the shells on the beach over anything else. But I think we should be just about out of turns. We might just have Raven Eye breed once more with her mate, and then we should be ready to skip the day. So we'll zoom out again, keep a close eye on all of our explorers in the very center of our territory, as the Barrienas come out to investigate the new babies in their family. Yeah, I thought those were our friendly Barrienas. I guess they want to get to know little Pepper, though we will have to have somebody come over here to, at the very least, keep him safe, because I do want somebody to pick up the meat that Reese left behind. Maybe Benedict would be willing to come back for this purpose, if they can make their way through those waves, of course, and settle down right next to Pepper's side. So they're taking a little detour on their way to that distant island, but I'm sure that Willow wouldn't mind, because she understands just how important family is, and that probably makes her miss her brother too. So I hope they'll get the chance to visit little Sage as they pass through, and they might be surprised to find that he is also just about to start a family of guardians. This time we will make sure to place some sort of fertility into both of their genetics, because we don't want to see more completely infertile babies if there's any way for us to work around it. I would be surprised if she manages to have a baby on this turn, but there's no rush between these two. They have plenty of time to share together still. And really, Lander? Really? You're scouting with the bunnies now? Surely he was just luring him close with all of those delicious berries. I think the bunnies did actually steal every last one, but it's not as if you guys can make too much use of them anyway. And Zaid, you are gonna have to take this bunny down for us. I know it's not something that you like to do, but when we don't have Barayinas to conquer, we have to take what food we can get. Otherwise, we end up with situations like this over here. Honestly, I feel like at this point, she has probably just made friends with the bunnies. She has resigned to the fact that they are going to steal her berries every single time. And she's just hoping that her son is going to have a little bit more luck in the future, and their dreams of colorful collectors won't die with him. Marshy's probably raring to start her job. As young as she is, she can't wait until she can dive into that tall grass stew. So we'll have Luna set up another nest high atop the throne, and then maybe Hunter wouldn't mind lighting up the area a little bit more for her, so she doesn't end up stumbling straight into any major dangers. Now, Pebbleheart, you have somebody very, very special to meet. Somebody who will hopefully be able to help you dig up all of those roots. And that alone is enough to make you welcome him with open arms. It must be awfully strange to find yourself suddenly staring straight at a twin you never knew you had. But if anybody can handle it, I'm sure it would be Pebbleheart. He does seem to be very gifted in the way of communication, I suppose. He's very friendly, and many of the creatures that he's passed has accepted him easily too. And finally, the moment that our water babies have been waiting for. It seems as though Cassius and Crystal have both grown up, and thanks to their differing immunity genes and the platypus beak in their genetics, I think we're going to try to breed them first. They're both super healthy, their fertility is actually not that bad, so I think this is going to be a pretty good match. We'll just have to scoot Crystal into the nest, and then cross our fingers that the platypus beak will be an easy gene to pass. Surely nothing will be as difficult as the Baragina snout. If we have little hybrids running around this island, then duck-billed babies should be no sweat. But I think with that, we have actually made some pretty decent progress with our island. We're getting super close to the end of our journey. Pretty soon the Barayinas will have nowhere left to hide, nowhere left to surprise us, especially once we take our little platypus beaks out into the sea. But for now, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye guys!